Cinema on the big screen is more than a business. It is an art form that brings people together, celebrating humanity, enhancing our empathy for one another. It's one of the very last artistic, in-person collective experiences we share as human beings. I adore the cinema, the experience, the ritual, the all-encompassing wave that comes from the audio-visual experience of film in this setting. Something that consumes and heightens your senses in ways most forms of art cannot. It is the ultimate escape with a deep social connection where not even a single word needs to be uttered. It's one of the best ways to consume and be consumed by a great story. And cinema allows you to witness and feel the true scale of it all. To see those heartbreaking facial expressions, those jaw-dropping moments of realization, the slick satisfaction of a well-timed explosion, and to feel a part of some of the best conversations you've ever heard. Watching a film at the cinema is an awakening, a yearning, and a kaleidoscopic journey into the human soul. It's amazing. I wanted to make this video for many reasons. I love talking about films, so why not talk about the best way to experience them? Right now, it's fair to say cinema feels like it's under threat. AI is already starting to dismantle the soul of art, and now the very place to celebrate art itself might be disappearing too. There has been a lot of discussions in the media. Most recently, we've had Elizabeth Olsen say that she wouldn't work on films that won't get a theatrical release. Sean Baker just the other day said he wants a 100-day window before his films hit streaming. But the main headline, Netflix is acquiring Warner Brothers. And people are rightly both concerned and skeptical of the future of cinema. Netflix's CEO has outright said he believes going to the cinema is an outdated form of entertainment. And even before this acquisition has gone through, they said they will reduce the theatrical window of films to get them to streaming quicker. Since the pandemic, cinema attendance has fallen significantly, and the last few years have been the lowest turnout since the 90s. And even though I tried my best to find some positivity in the data, the numbers are not painting a particularly good picture. There are signs of life and some positive increases, especially here in the UK, but the graphs are barely pointing past the horizon. Now, cinemas are starting to get creative with the types of screenings they put on. You can take your dog to the cinema, you can go to a sing-along screening, a naturist screening, a hot tub screening, you can go to a special matchmaking screening. I've seen so many great classic films in cinemas this year, more than ever before, I think. I've been to film marathons, more event-style films, live streams, special music releases, theatre releases. There are more formats than ever before, more popcorn buckets than ever before. TV episodes are getting screened in cinemas, and I've even seen an increase in Netflix films in cinemas this year. Although, for some films it was too little too late. And I'm not trying to say you need to walk 50 miles or shave your head to get the full experience. For me, the traditional experience is still enough. And look, I get it. I think cinema etiquette has fallen significantly. It can get pretty expensive, and some of the trailers these days leave a lot to be desired, especially when they outright show you the whole story or completely change the tone of the film they are advertising. You can also watch a film pretty much anywhere these days, whether it's on your phone, your fridge, or in virtual reality. But nothing beats going to the cinema. We have come a long way from peering through a hole in a box to full-blown IMAX experiences, which are now selling out a year in advance, I might add. So why should you go to the cinema? What really makes it so special? Humor me for a second, but starting at a basic level, you are sitting in a specifically designed auditorium with a surround sound system and a specifically designed projector. You are thrust into darkness, sat upright, and encouraged to isolate yourself from the outside world. Which means switching off your damn phone. You are asked to lock into the experience, and from the moment the title card comes up, you are presented with a form of art that aims to entertain you and become your sole focus for 2 or so hours. A cinema screen is the best way to experience something the way the artist has intended. Many films are designed especially from a technical perspective with the cinema experience in mind. And the scale and the details of the way they are edited together can sometimes only be truly appreciated in this setting, and even still enhanced. We all love a good car chase, but the detail and micro expressions on the human face are the moments that matter on the big screen. A stronger connection is created between you and the character, and that goes for the memory of it too. All these technical aspects provide you with the ultimate method of investment. Now, of course, a great film, and more importantly, a great story, does not need these enhancements. But the thing that really makes the cinema a special experience is the fact that you are allowing yourself to go on this journey without distractions, allowing the film's concoction of elements to suspend you in this magical trance that can often be overwhelmingly beautiful. But it's also something you share with strangers, with people you will never even say a word to. And you are all in this thing together. Audiences can enhance a film too. They create an atmosphere. I recently attended the London Film Festival, and the energy of the crowd at some of those screenings was electric. The social aspect of cinema is a huge part of what makes it so special. I have an overflowing list of wonderful memories of not just films, but experiences and feelings I felt during my many times sat in one of those seats at the cinema. I remember as a kid hiding under one of those seats, in fact, when Aragog appeared on screen during Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Let's just say after that, it took me 10 years to pluck up the courage to finally watch Eight-Legged Freaks. I remember seeing Toy Story 3 with my family at a small independent cinema, and as we were the only people in there, the projectionist came out and offered to fast forward the adverts for us. I remember trying to sneak into an 18 certificate film. I don't remember what the film was because we couldn't get in, so we ended up watching Cars 2. I remember my eyes desperately scanning every inch of the screen during Hereditary, one of the most tense and creepy films I've ever seen in the cinema. When Oppenheimer came out, I held my breath during the Trinity test sequence, and I found the use of silence overwhelming. I couldn't believe in the largest sold-out cinema auditorium in the UK, I could hear a pin drop. And I remember being the only person in the cinema watching a film called Baby Teeth when cinemas had just reopened in 2020. And if you've seen that film, you know just how much of an emotional experience that was. Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, one of my favorite films, I got to see projected in 35mm last year for the first time, with a sold-out audience that had pretty perfect reactions to all of my most memorable moments. And this year alone has given me some new incredible memories. Sinners in 70mm just makes your soul dance, and especially in that one scene. I saw one battle after another 3 times just to revel in each of its different formats. I could talk for hours about this, but every time I open the door to that auditorium and do the walk in and glance up at the screen, I always smile, and it's still exciting. Some films just need to be seen on the big screen, but don't make the mistake in thinking you should only be watching blockbusters and visual spectacles. Support the smaller films, the ones that really have something to say. They will often connect with you deeper. Most of my favorite films I've seen in the cinema this year have been independent films, and ones that I wouldn't have discovered had I not made a conscious effort to spend more time at the cinema. There is always a great film playing somewhere the night you want to go. You just have to find it. And then we reach the point where I say something that feels obvious but maybe not for everyone in practice. It's okay to go to the cinema on your own. In fact, some of my favorite experiences have been on my own. It becomes you time, but it's also a shared personal time for everyone around you. But don't let that make you feel anxious. My channel is literally called The Nervous Eye because I deal with a great deal of anxiety in my day-to-day life, and that anxiety has led me to overthink and overanalyze many things, including films. And I can confidently say one of the places I feel most at home and most comfortable now is at the cinema. It feels like I'm really spending time with not just the film, but myself. I think it's a good place for you to let go and to feel inspired. And sometimes being with your friends or your loved ones does mean you spend more time thinking about and worrying about them and their perception of the film. They don't always let you be with you. Just don't be afraid to go it alone. I hope I've encouraged you somewhat to at least consider going to the cinema again and maybe even more regularly. But I also appreciate money is a very restrictive reason as to why a lot of us can't make it to the cinema. But to touch on that briefly, there are a lot of ways around it. There are specific days of the week, usually a Monday here in the UK, where most tickets will be discounted even during peak times. Every cinema has a membership these days, and a lot of them are actually quite good. And there's always a deal. If you do your own research, going to the cinema doesn't have to be as expensive as you think. But of course, I strongly recommend you go to your local independent cinema and support them. There is something even more special about watching a film in a place that has history, that feels lived and watched in. But of course, just going to the cinema at all directly supports the filmmakers and sometimes even has a huge impact on an up-and-coming director's next film. In general, it just keeps the cinema business alive. Art is based on connection, and we shouldn't sever the human connection when experiencing art. And that, fellow internet stranger, is why I think you should be going to the cinema more. I hope it brings you the same joy it does to me, and I'm very grateful if you've made it this far into my ramble, so please do give the video a like and consider subscribing. But let me know what your most memorable cinema going experiences are. We are just around the corner from Avatar, Fire and Ash, and I couldn't think of a bigger cinema spectacle film to recommend that you go and watch next weekend. But all that's left to do now is to thank you very much for watching.